Caitlin Clark just landed another incredible endorsement. This time it's with Stanley Cups. Guys,
Caitlin Clark just blew up the internet again. This time it's with Stanley. Yes, the tumbler brand your mom, your cousin, and every college student can't stop talking about just watched sales skyrocket because of Clark's latest partnership. She hasn't even stepped back on the hardwood yet, but her influence is so enormous that products are vanishing from shelves overnight. Here's the big question. Could Caitlin's Stanley collaboration actually carry more weight than some of her career highlights? Let's be blunt. Clark signs with Stanley, the company that practically runs the reusable drinkware world, and immediately demand goes wild. This isn't just another small deal to toss on the pile. This is culture crossing into new territory. She's not just pushing jerseys or basketball shoes anymore. She's moving hydration. She's pushing lifestyle. And the wild part? Fans are all in. Here's how it unfolded. Stanley was already riding a wave. These cups became more than cups. They turned into status symbols. People were camping out at Target for limited pastel editions. Resellers were flipping cups, not sneakers, not luxury purses, actual cups, for triple-digit prices online. Then along comes Caitlin Clark, the most bankable athlete in women's sports, and suddenly you've got a brand deal built to detonate. Then came the rollout. Clark holding Stanley tumblers in Indiana Fever colors, decked out in Nike sweats, grinning like she knew she was about to send the internet into meltdown mode. And she did. Social media caught fire instantly. Screenshots spread everywhere, TikTok videos popped up non-stop, and fans were already begging to know when her collection would be available. The funny thing, the cups weren't even officially released yet, but resale groups were already buzzing. That isn't just hype, it's pure dominance. And let's be clear, this moment is bigger than Clark just moving drinkware. It's her proving that her reach goes well beyond basketball. It shows her influence extends deep into lifestyle culture. Think about her endorsements: Gatorade, sports. Wilson, sports? Nike? Sports and style. But Stanley, that's everyday mainstream. That's moms at soccer games, college kids in dorms, office workers at their desks. People who may have never watched a minute of the WNBA are still ready to buy a Caitlin Clark Stanley because it feels cool. That's crossover star power. And of course the critics showed up. Why does she keep getting deals? She hasn't earned this. It's just a cup, same recycled complaints. But here's the thing, receipts don't lie. Stanley's numbers are climbing, shelves are clearing out, and the only shift in the equation is Clark's face on the campaign. You can yell overrated all you want, but the sales tell the real story. Says otherwise.
Still at will maintaining to land deals is, legendary. And not to mention she still got to deal with Gatorade as well. So for her to land this Stanley deal is just, I know a lot of people talk about her agent not being there for her agent doing all these things. I gotta give it to her agent, bro. Now, granted, would Caitlin Clark be getting these deals if she didn't have her agent? Probably, but she still gotta give some. We still gotta give some credit to the agent. This is a nice cup here. I don't think I ever seen one like that. This is legendary right here, and Caitlin looks super happy to have this deal as well.
Now, let's talk numbers. Stanley was already pulling in billions every year, but new reports suggest that after Clark's collaboration teasers dropped, traffic on their site jumped double digits. Pre-orders for her line surged instantly. Some stores couldn't even keep standard Stanley stock on shelves because customers thought Clark's version might sell out fast, so they bought whatever they could. That's the Taylor Swift effect. Everything tied to the name becomes a frenzy. And here's where it gets funny. Imagine being one of those doubters who swore Clark was just media hype, only to watch her outsell NBA players in the water bottle game. It's comedy every time. People bet against her. She turns around and shows she's more than an athlete. She's a phenomenon. Let's break down the strategy. Stanley didn't just stick her name on one cup. They rolled out a full line. 5 separate products. The jug, the tumbler, the water bottle, the classic design, and even a travel model. And the colors: Fever Navy, Iowa Gold, and a sleek gray. It's basically her entire journey captured in color swatches. And fans weren't satisfied with grabbing just one. They were buying entire sets to complete the collection. That's not luck, that's design. This isn't some casual endorsement. This is a calculated full-scale launch. What made the promo even stronger was Clark herself. She didn't look stiff or out of place. She looked authentic, laughing, relaxed, holding the cup like it was second nature. That detail matters. Some athletes look uncomfortable outside their sport, but not Clark. She slides into lifestyle. Ads like she's been doing them forever. That's why brands keep lining up. She's approachable for everyday consumers while still big enough to spark a craze. And here's the wild part. She pulled this off while injured. Let that sink in. She hasn't even played half the season and her endorsement train didn't. Slow down for a second. Most athletes need highlight reels to stay in the spotlight. Clark just needs a photo drop and a press release. That's called brand equity. And critics hate it because it proves her value isn't locked to the scoreboard. Now stack her deal up against the rest. Other WNBA stars have signed endorsements too. Aja Wilson with her Nike sneakers, Sabrina Ionescu with her own shoe, Angel Reese with Reebok. All smart moves. But none of those are moving $40 tumblers to middle-aged parents in the Midwest or accountants in New England. That space belongs to Clark, and she owns it, and people still whine about the price tag. $60 for a cup. Total scam. Really? You'll spend $100 on a scented candle without blinking, but Clark's Stanley Cup is somehow too much? Please. These are selling out because people see more than just drinkware. They see a connection to Clark's journey, but this goes way beyond just Stanley. This is a blueprint for how endorsements will evolve. Other lifestyle brands are watching closely. If Clark can turn water bottles into collector's items, imagine what happens when she touches furniture, fashion, or tech. Basketball isn't the ceiling anymore. It's just the foundation. That's why this partnership feels so massive. So here's the takeaway. Caitlin Clark's Stanley collaboration isn't just another sponsorship. It's the clearest proof yet that she's moved from athlete to cultural force. She's reaching audiences who've never seen her play. She's turning products into viral must-haves without stepping on the court. And she's leaving her doubters scrambling to explain why a cup is outpacing jerseys. And here's the kicker. For decades, sneakers were the gold standard of athletes. Influence, signature shoes, flashy drops, limited editions. That's how cultural reach was measured. Clark flipped the script. She didn't need sneakers to prove her pull. She made tumblers the hottest drop of the season. Think about how wild that is. Forums that usually obsess over Yeezys or Jordans are now bragging about landing a Clark Stanley colorway. It's sneakerhead energy, but for drinkware. Sounds absurd, right? Yet it's absurd in a way that prints money. That's why this matters. Clark isn't just endorsing products. She's rewriting what an endorsement even means. It's not about sticking to sports gear anymore. It's about embedding into everyday life, where fans already live. Nobody needs a pair of basketball shoes, but everybody needs a water bottle. Clark and Stanley figured that out, and the results are undeniable. And of course, the critics circle back. She's selling cups, not winning titles, as if performance and brand don't coexist. She's sidelined, sure, but her influence keeps growing. That's not a weakness, it's her superpower. Staying relevant without even playing shows her reach is on another level. And let's be honest, if this deal had gone to anyone else in the league, the critics would be shouting about how groundbreaking it is. But because it's Clark, suddenly, it's just a cup. That contradiction says more about the haters than it ever will about her.